Today tells tomorrow. Yesterday said today. Days go, things change. The changes destroy and bury the past. Let's quickly know the traditions that are on quicksand. Save them or at least know them. Hello Bessie people, I'm Swedish. Make sure you stay till the end and comment on these videos, as these videos brings in content worth ages in minutes. Number 10 in our list is kalinga tattoo. Tattoos are cool and tattoos are fancy. They have different meaning in different places. This tattoo art in Kalinga province of Philippines is sure to disappear one day, very soon. Getting to Kalinga is very difficult, as you should walk down the canyon and get half a kilometer up the hill. Getting a Kalinga tattoo is a painful task. The last tattoo artist who does these traditional Kalinga tattoos is Apo Van Old, a 93-year-old woman from mountains of Kalinga. She uses thorns from lemon tree to avoid infections. She makes ink from water, charcoal and sugarcane juice. The Kalinga tattoo is for sure going to disappear one day with this old lady. Know about Ecuador's authentic Panama hats? The Panama hats of Ecuador is one of the most authentic hats in the world. These hats are made in the villages of Ecuador. They are made using straws of trees. Ecuador weavers were considered one of the best in the world for making hats, but now, with tough competition from China, who make 1 billion paper hats every year, they are leading the global market with 40% of the entire production, whereas the Panama hat weavers only less than 1%. Number 8 in our list is China's Shadowplay. For hundreds of years, Shadowplay, that is looping, have served as a source of entertainment for the Chinese people. Mostly, it is performed during celebrations such as bountiful harvests, marriages, and festivals. This colorful ancient tradition is accompanied by music and is performed by 6 to 7 actors who maneuver puppets from behind a screen. Sadly, the laughter and the happiness brought by these Shadowplay might come to an end, as most of the China's young generation have expressed little or no interest in learning this rich tradition. Hu Chang Yu, an old man from Bojack village of East Pinggu district, is only one of the 2 living Shadowplay masters in his area. Even though he is a renowned Shadowplay craftsman and an actor, he is unable to share his priceless knowledge to his children, especially because they are not interested in it. Thankfully, the Chinese government has started to gather and secure the national folk art and establish a sanctuary for national heritage in efforts to preserve the cultural tradition like Shadowplay. Number 7 is Laos traditional weaving. Luang Prabang is considered to be the center of textile industry in Laos. Traditional weavers like the members of Katu tribes are still making the same designs using the same techniques used by the ancestors hundreds of years ago. In recent years, this Asian country has experienced a dramatic growth in tourism industry. In 2012, Laos welcomed more than 3.3 million international visitors, mostly from China and Thailand. Though the remarkable increase in the foreign visitors have benefited the tourism industry, it has hit the textile industry. The increase in foreign visitors led to increased demand for Laotian textile products. In order to meet the sudden increase in demands, the merchant resorted to sell fake Laotian textiles. These fake textiles are made from either Thai or Vietnamese silk. Compared to the authentic Laotian textiles, the Vietnam and the Thai silk are glossier and rougher. They also unravel easily. Thankfully, some initiatives have been put forward to address the growing problem. For example, a non-profit organization called the Fiber to Fabric holds exhibition in Luang Prabang to educate foreign visitors about the rich history and the distinguishing features of the authentic Laotian textile. It is hoped that by learning the features of the genuine textiles and understanding the rich history behind the traditions, the foreign visitors will avoid fake products and opt for the authentic ones. Number 6 is Bohol's traditional Christmas Daygon. Daygons are igu-igu, are praised for birth is an endangered folk Christmas musical tradition practiced in the island province of Bojack, Bohol, in Philippines. This musical tradition depicts the birth of Jesus Christ. Residents of Bojack are worried that the traditions will disappear once when its few living practitioners pass away. The last time the full version of the musical tradition was performed was in 2011 during the Bohol's Art Festival. In the past, residents of Bojack would perform the traditions with sole motive in giving praise to the infant Jesus, but now, in the present, few living practitioners are primarily motivated by money. Number 5 is Romania's traditional glassmaking. In terms of artistry and sophistication, Romania's traditional glass is perhaps some of the best in the world. It's sought-after product commonly sold in luxurious shops across Europe and US. Despite the traditional's glamour, reputation and rich history, it faces extinction due to the dwindling number of incoming artisans interested in pursuing the art. Traditional glassblowers outside Bucharest have taken the initiative to show the beauty and the rich history of this tradition to the youth. Unfortunately, most young people don't really have interest or commitment to pursue the art. With no support from Romanian government, the glassblowers are worried that the tradition might die soon than expected. Nevertheless, there is a hope. Glassblowers are hoping that the strong demand for Romanian glass in the global market might motivate the young people to continue the tradition. Number 4. India's Gharana. Gharana is one of the major forms of Hindustani classical music. Sadly, this rich musical tradition is slowly dying due to decreasing number of both patrons and practitioners. Despite being in the dusk of Indian music trends, a few passionate practitioners of Gharana aren't ready to give up. Ustad Aidi Akkum Ahmed Shahab, the last prominent prophet of this 400-year-old musical tradition, continues to promote and teach the music to a few dedicated singers, despite his old age and being penniless. What's worse even is educational institutions are unsuccessful in reviving interest in Hindustani classical music. For example, Agra University has decided to close its Hindustani classical music department. Thankfully, some colleges continue to offer a few courses. Unfortunately, only girls may take them. 3 is Swedish fuka. Fuka is a Swedish term that refers to having a cup of coffee and a pastry. Unlike its US counterpart, where things are done in a hurried manner, this Swedish custom invites people to slow down, find a moment to relax, contemplate about life, and hang out with friends over a cup of coffee. Unfortunately, this tradition is slowly dying. Young Swedes no longer consider it an integral part of their culture and national identity. The younger generation views fuka as something they do when they visit their grandparents or to impress someone on date. It's no longer done on regular basis with their friends or co-workers. There are several reasons why fuka is slowly dying, but perhaps the most important factor is that Sweden now has longer working hours compared to the earlier times. Many Swedes simply don't have time to practice fuka. Number 2 is Sri Lanka's stilt fishing. Stilt fishing may look like an ancient method of catching fish, but that's not the case. This young tradition only started during the World War II. Back then, Sri Lankans used the wreckage of planes and ships to catch fishes. Over time, they learned to build stilts in coral reefs. The stilts were made up of sticks and twines and were erected in shallow waters. Fishermen would then sit on these stilts where they could randomly strike a school of fish with their fishing rods. In 2004, Sri Lanka was hit by a tsunami. The devastating catastrophe dramatically altered the country's shoreline, resulting in reduced ability to stilt fish. Following the aftermath of 2004 tsunami, many fishermen abandoned the tradition and looked for other jobs like farming or selling fish in market. Thankfully, there is a hope for future of the stilt fishing, and it does not come from the government, but rather an unlikely source. Tourists. Many foreign tourists are fascinated by stilt fishing and are eager to take photos of the fisherman. Many of them, those who sit on the stilts, aren't really fishing. They are ordinary people paid to pretend so that the tourists can take pictures of them. Number 1 is the Japanese ama diving. Ama diving is an ancient Japanese tradition that involves the catching of fish and other sea creatures without the use of any breathtaking equipment. What makes the tradition unique is that only women can become ama divers. Interesting. Ama diving is dangerous. Every time ama divers go into the ocean to catch fish, they risk their lives. Archaeological evidence show that ama diving has been practiced in Japan, specifically on the Shima Peninsula, since prehistoric times. Also, in the olden days, women from this region could not get married unless they become ama divers. Unfortunately, this tradition is on the verge of extinction. Many Japanese women had turned to other means of living. According to Toba Sea Folk Museum, there were more than 4,000 ama divers in 1972. This number has decreased to 800 in the recent years. The economic boom allowed many Japanese women to receive education and get better jobs. Thankfully, the government has established certain initiatives to keep the tradition alive. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the bell so that you get notified when I post a new video just for you.